also see, you don't have to take it out. I'm going to tell you what you have. You have crayons. Okay, the crayons are to be used because you're going to be putting watercolor on the paper. If you put watercolor on crayon, what's going to happen? It will look better, but why? Come on, scientists. It repels. Thank you very much. I know our teacher for that. A teacher for that. It repels. So wherever you put crayon, the watercolor is not going to stay. So those are ideas that you might want to use when you are going to be creating your artwork. You also have a series of brushes. You also have markers, and you should have several Sharpies. Okay, it's because if you notice, Miro always connected his shapes, usually with a black line, sometimes more bold than others. And then finally, you have a Juan Miro cheat sheet. For those of you that tell me, I don't know how to draw a stick figure, I gave you a stick sheet. Okay? What we are going to do, you can copy any of them. What we are going to do is we are going to listen, so everybody needs to be quiet. We are going to listen of a snippet of a time in a day in a pond. And this is what I need you to do. We're going to play it a couple of times. On your scratch paper, I want you to pick a shape or a series of shapes, and I want you to draw them how many times you see it. You hear it on your scrap piece of paper. You're just laying down. What you're going to do right now is you're going to lay down your designs. Okay? Go ahead. So let's all be quiet. You can hear the first. We're going to loop this sound. So whatever sound you hear first, just focus on the first sounds you hear. You can look at your cheat sheet if you want to choose a shape, but draw a shape and repeat it as many times as you hear it. So if it's boop, 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 then it's boop, boop, boop. How would you draw that? Boop, boop, boop. Okay? Okay, everybody listen. You got to hear it. Let's do it again. There it goes again. There it goes again. It's just going to loop, it's going to keep looping. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to just kind of like digest it, draw the shapes that you hear, and then I'll get back with you. What you're going to do next is you're going to take however many times you drew it on your scratch sheet of paper, I want you to draw it on your good sheet of paper. It can be small. If it was a really low sound, like trut, trut, then maybe make that smaller. If it was more maybe make that shape a little bit bigger. So change the size of the shape depending on the sound that you hear. And you can spread it across the paper. That's a choice. You can put it one next to each other. That's a choice. You are the artist. You are the one who's creating this. Okay, and you want to draw this out. And when you draw it, you want to draw it on the good, thicker watercolor paper. On the good, thicker watercolor paper. Once you have that drawn, what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to use markers. If you want to use the Sharpies will not bleed with the water, so you can use You can use the Sharpies, or you can use the crayons, or you can use the colored pencils. But what I do with what I would like for you to do is to do similar to Miro, is to have solid areas of color blocking. So whatever shapes you make sure that you color them in whatever color you wish. You can be dark and somber if you wish, or you can be bright and happy if you wish. You can use only blues and greens. It's you're doing this. Once you have colored it in with your marker or colored pencil or crayon, I want you to outline it with a black Sharpie. Outline it with a black Sharpie. And finally, hey Bobby, can you switch it? Finally, at the end, when you've got all your shapes color blocked and colored in, whether with a marker, a colored pencil, or a crayon, or all of the above, you may use all of it if you wish. Okay, I see somebody coloring with a crayon. If you're coloring with the crayon, can you please make sure you put some pressure on that crayon? Do not do a light version or else your watercolor will go right through it. So if you're gonna, yes, there you go. You want to make sure that your wax is set in the paper. Make sure you outline your shapes with black marker. And then you're going to paint, using the watercolors, the whole background. You're going to paint the whole background. You may do it color blocked. You may do it like his constellations that had a modulation of color in the background. Okay. Notice the background is completely painted with watercolors. I tried to do some gradation here with the wax, so the wax resisted. Okay. Are there any questions? If not, I'm going to walk around, kind of like help people out as they go. Once you're done, we really like to make these stand out, and we like to frame them. When you're completely done, you can bring it to the back table and I will frame them for you. And we will also take a picture of them to record for this particular event. And you'll need to hand in your artist statement. Yes, thumbs up? All right. Woohoo!